told you every time.
Swear I got you.
Rules and cliffs.
My name is Bridget Empire, temporarily filling in as music columnist for The Snob on Sunday. Don't worry, Lord Jeremiah Nonce Records will be back next week. But since I'm the only person on staff under 50, I've been tasked with covering up recent rap releases. To be honest, how can I blame them? Who better to talk to about the nuances of one of the most talked about conscious rap albums of the year than a white English woman? Say what you want about The Snob on Sunday, but out of touch? Okay, they might be a tad out of touch. Today, I'm here to talk about a song by Kendrick Lamar, a man who I've been reliably informed is the GOAT, which I'm assuming is a good thing, because my colleagues down at the road at NME tell me his music slaps, which I'm also assuming is a good thing. The song in question is called The Auntie Diaries from Lamar's new album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Lord Nonce Records was quite excited to review this one, since he assumed this would be about some sort of hip-hop love letter to the idea of extended family, and he's not exactly wrong, but when the song started and he realised it was actually talking about trans people, he ran away crying and immediately got on the phone to Graham Linehan, so I had to step in and take his place. Sorry about that. So now here I am, picking up the pieces. So let's talk about what this song is about, why it's caused so much controversy, and what it represents as a song about coming to accept queer family in an age where anti-queer backlash is the flavour of the day. This, amazingly, is the Empire's statement.
I told you every time.
Swear I got you.
Rules and cliffs all got along. They probably got.
For those not in the know, Kendrick Lamar is one of the biggest rappers of all time. Hailing from Compton, California, Kendrick made a name for himself with legendary albums like Good Kid, Mad City, and arguably one of the best albums ever made, To Pimp a Butterfly. If you aren't even a little bit of a hip-hop fan, you're probably already a fan of his music. If you are even that's a completely different meaning. If you are even a little bit of a hip-hop fan, you're probably already a fan of his music. And if you aren't, pause this video, go listen to it, or just leave this running on mute so I still get views. I'm not supposed to tell him to stop watching, but you should. You should be a fan. It's really fucking good. On his latest album, Kendrick Lamar spends a lot of time rapping about some of the things he perceives as his own missteps, from infidelity to race-based resentments to relationship dynamics. It can get pretty heavy sometimes, and that's no bad thing. However, one of the main points of discourse I saw when this album came out was really nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with how this album comes together as an emotionally raw piece of art. As art. So, see, I'm not just a columnist. I'm also a trans woman. And you know what that means? It means that I saw what happened when our community first heard of the Auntie Diaries, and then what happened when our community heard that other people heard of the Auntie Diaries, and, well, we didn't take it well. The Auntie Diaries is, in my opinion, and I might get lambasted for this, but it's fucking high art. So hear me out. There's been a huge backlash in the trans community to this song coming out, and in some ways that seems kind of intentional. The Auntie Diaries is a song about a young Kendrick Lamar struggling to deal with his initial acceptance of his transgender uncle, something his male relatives and friends never quite understand, and later on, his struggle to see eye to eye with his cousin, an out trans woman, despite him admitting in the song that he not only saw the signs before the rest of his family that they were trans, but he actually kind of understood what she was going through. It's a song that deals with deprogramming yourself from how society's taught you to view trans people, and how the ways young boys are taught to react to and deal with queerness gets in the way of genuine love for others, and can obfuscate the real love he expresses towards his uncle and cousin. But it's also about language and slurs. And if there's one thing that sets off alarms in trans people's minds, and for good reason, we've a lot of people step on a lot of landmines and then blamed us for it. It's misgendering and it's dead naming. And there's a lot of that in the song. There's quite a lot of that. And there's also the F slur, so you don't have to listen to it if you don't want to hear that shit, obviously. But this is also kind of the point. I don't blame any queer person for never wanting to listen to the song again. I understand we hear enough shit about ourselves that having to put up with hearing a single trans person get misgendered or dead named again. I understand that and I get it. I really, really do. It was a hard listen for me the first time, to be honest. I kind of tensed up going in because I'd heard the buzz around it. And because Kendrick Lamar is a straight man and the rap community has a problem with homophobia it's had a problem with homophobia since there's been rap. As have a lot of communities, most communities have a homophobia problem. But it was sort of part of the DNA. And there's a Kanye quote about this, if I can pull that up.
Everybody in high school be like, yo, you acting like a fag. You acting like, dawg, you gay? And I used to deal with that when I was in high school. And what happened is it made me kind of like homophobic because it's like I would like go back and like question myself, like, damn, why does everybody else walk like this and I walk like this? So why is it you start just looking, because you don't realize until you're in high school, people like, yo, fam, look at you. Look at how you act. If you see something and you don't want to be that because it's such a negative connotation towards it, you try to separate yourself from it so much that it made me homophobic. By the time I was through with high school, like anybody that was gay, I was like, yo, get away from me. And really, like Tupac said, started hanging with the thugs, and you look up, and all my friends were like really thugged out. And it's kind of like I was racing to try to find that constant masculine role model right there, to the point where it's like I would really discriminate. Like I use the word fag, like always condescending towards gays and look down upon gays. And I remember my cousin told me that another one of my cousins was gay. And at that point, it's kind of when the turning point where I was like, yo, this is my cousin. I love him. Like, and I've been discriminating against gays. It's like, do I discriminate against my cousin? And then everything starts to click. He brings his partner with him to like Thanksgiving and all that. And you just had to sit back and think, like, damn, hip hop really is about, it seemed like it's about like fighting for your rights in the beginning, about speaking your mind and about breaking down barriers or whatever. But everybody in hip hop discriminates against gay people. To me, like, that's one of the standards of hip hop, is to be like, yo, you fag, you gay. Matter of fact, the exact opposite word of hip hop, I think, is gay. Like, yo, you play a record and it's like whack, that's gay, dog. If it's good, that's that hip hop right there. You see what I'm saying? It's like the exact opposite. So it's like me speaking for my entire culture, or me looking at my rappers out there, hip-hoppers discriminate against gay people. They feel like they can't act. Hold on one second. Everybody, don't throw me off. I really want to say this. I want to say this to America. I want to...
Speak your mind.
No, he was just throwing me off just slightly. I wanted to just come on TV and just tell my rappers, just tell my friends, like, yo, stop it, fam. Like seriously, that's really discrimination. To me, that's exactly what they used to do to black people. I'm just trying to tell people, just stop all that.
If anyone is going to dismiss the song, its intent, and its execution of that intent, I don't blame them if they're queer. I really, really don't. But it is kind of a shame because what Kendrick Lamar is doing here is really interesting. And if I'm honest, as a trans woman with a lot of straight guy friends and family, it's really familiar. It really mirrors the journeys I've seen them go through. Not just struggling with unlearning names, genders, behaviors, and language, but unlearning like a whole precedent built on top of precedent of how to treat people, how to act around you and how to think about gender and sexuality and all that societal made up bullshit nonsense. And not just that, but also in the way it wrestles with language, with the way it uses it to show these struggles, the way he goes back and forth with pronouns, with names, with genders, and the way it all comes together in the final line, because yes, that is troubling, the misgendering and the dead naming, and that's the point. And that all comes back to that in the end. A lot of people online have pointed out that Kendrick Lamar has no right to be using the F slur in this song, and they're right. They're right, and I agree, and the song agrees. Lamar at the end of the song admits this and explicitly condemns the entirety of the song you've just listened to, comparing it to a white fan of his who tried to rap along to the N-word with him on stage during a performance of Mad City. It's not that Kendrick Lamar doesn't understand the criticisms being leveled at the song for how it's framed. He absolutely does, and it's structured that way on purpose. In a way, it's that more than anything that makes me sympathize with trans people who walk away from it. And that's also kind of the point, because it's not for us. It's not for us. It's for people like him. Oh, hello. My earring fell out. It's for people like him who grew up being encouraged to spout homophobic slurs, to see trans people as something to be ridiculed, to someone who would just throw around the F slur without any thought to what it might mean, and to the people it might hurt, but flinch at the same treatment when it's directed towards themselves. Now let me take my earring out. I'm not coming to fight you, Kendrick. I put these earrings in and they've both fallen out. It's a truce. A truce. Kendrick Lamar is wrong to use the F slur, and he agrees. He agrees. This song is made just for this purpose, to get people who would usually be the ones rallying against us to the end of the song to question themselves. And honestly, I think it's fucking incredible. It's simple but effective, and like all art, there are valid reasons why many people think its execution is clumsy. Even those that see that its heart is, at least initially, in the right place. I really think we should stress, though, how very important it is that one of the biggest rappers in the world basically just came out to bat for the trans community. This album is a huge deal, and tons of people who never would have given us the chance are going to hear the Auntie Diaries. Some of these people are going to get it through it, get it to the point where Lamar voices a realization that he's been going about things wrong, that he's a hypocrite, and the hypocrisy has kept him from being close to his favourite cousin, and some of those people are going to resonate with that. Some of them might change their mind. Some of them might even pick up the phone, call their cousin and, let them know, as Kendrick implies that he did. I mean, I don't know him in real life, obviously, but call up their cousin and let them know, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Call me cousin. Call me. Tell me you were wrong. Vindicate me. It's intentional, is what I'm saying. It's intentionally clunky, intentionally offensive, and intentionally confrontational. But it's confronting Kendrick Lamar himself and anyone who identifies with the way he presents himself here. I really think I let myself get too sincere on this one. This is supposed to be a satire channel. Dan, give me something Lord Nonce Records wants me to be angry about so I can save this video from a happy ending. Okay. Trans people? Dan, I'm trans. I can't be angry at trans people. I know I'm a columnist, but I'm not a masochist. In fact, let me get on my soapbox here a minute, if you promise to keep this just between us. It's been a real hard time for trans people lately. I realise that statement could really apply at any time in the last ever. But yeah, lately it's been a series of escalating horrors with no end in sight. The US is banning transitioning in a bunch of states, mostly in kids, but some just in general. The attacks on abortion rights over there have set a precedent that could make the attacks even worse, and parents can now even be jailed for letting their kid transition. In the UK, our next Prime Minister is probably going to be Liz Truss, who I genuinely think would be happy to march us into camps. And arch-transphobe Joanna Cherry QC has been appointed as chair of our Human Rights Commission. Elsewhere, attacks on trans people in Poland, Hungary, Russia, and elsewhere are just outright fucking terrifying. And sometimes, well, if I'm honest, all the time, it feels as if we have nowhere left to run. So if you're watching this and you are trans, I'm sorry if it feels like I was picking a fight here. I just really feel like it's so rare that a huge celebrity comes out to bat for us, and sometimes we overreact, and that's completely normal. We're under attack so much, it's absolutely to be expected that we're so often on the defensive. No matter what happens, no matter how bad things get, I love you. I do. I love you. And so many other people do too. Probably. I think so. I love you anyway. I love you. Come, give me a call. Don't call me. Don't call me. I haven't given you your number. Please don't call me. I can just stand out like that. Fuck the Republican Party. Fuck, I guess, the UK in general. Fuck Orban. Fuck the Polish government. Fuck Putin. Fuck Ron DeSantis and Tucker Carlson and every other ghoul trying to scare us back in the closet. I love you. And you deserve to be out of that. You deserve to not have to deal with that shit. I deserve it. We all deserve to be able to feel alive, to not have to live in fear, to not have to pretend to be someone we're not. And if you're not trans, tell your trans friends that you love them. Or subscribe to their Patreon. Or drop them a one-time donation on coffee. Or leave them a nice YouTube comment. And tell them, stop using this green screen. It's really awkward. And your hair's in your face in a weird direction. I've been trying to record this for so long. In all seriousness, if you're not trans, if you're the kind of person Kendrick Lamar was talking to with this song, if maybe I'm one of the first trans people you've ever seen, you won't be because I get like 10 views a video, but fuck, you might be. If that's you, and I realize I'm not looking at the camera, but if that's you, you welcome. I love you too. I love you too. I love a lot of people. I'm glad you're here. I am. I'm glad you're here. Where was I even going with this? I'm glad you're here. In fact, while you're here, you're the reason I'm making this video, because if we're going to win this struggle for trans rights, we're going to need people like you. People who were unsure, people who were maybe on the fence about us or even outright hostile, but who in the end were willing to learn no matter when that came or no matter how much that took or, you know, how much you've done in the past. People who were willing to learn and willing to change and willing to cross the floor and fight with us to stop this heinous crusade against us. Trans people could use your solidarity right now. And if you're feeling guilty about how you used to act towards us, throw that feeling away for now. Just, you can deal with that feeling when everything is over. Right now, put that aside and come help, stand with us, and let others know that you do too. The more people stand with us, the harder they're going to have to fight to get rid of us. We need you. And I hope you know that, because we need you so much. And the reason I'm doing this is that I hope that the Auntie Diaries made a load more of you. And I suspect that it did. And that gives me hope in a time where people like me could really use it. So thank you for coming. Thank you for enjoying the Auntie Diaries. Don't get weird with trans people if they didn't. But I did. And now my hair's gone all over the place. So please donate to my Patreon so I can get a haircut. Thanks for watching. Fucking stupid fucking hair. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I promise things won't usually be this sincere. Can you imagine a video of mine with fewer than 10 dumb jokes? It'll never happen, please, trust me. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, by the way. It helps with the algorithm, and if you do, I'll let you tell me all the reasons I'm wrong about this song. I'll let you tell me how bad this green screen is, even though I already know how my boobs disappearing in it. I'll let you give me hair tips. You can come over and do my hair if you give me £1 on Patreon. It'll also help me be able to eat and pay for my rent. So please like, subscribe to my Patreon, one-time donations and coffee. I need help. I'm poor. If you do subscribe to the Patreon, I'll read out your name at the end of these videos, and I'll probably do it in a stupid voice because that's the way I like to do it, unless you request otherwise. So, yeah. Cheers. What How does everything go wrong when I try to do fun shit and my hair is in the way of my face? Okay, is this still recording?